You know, I went to church the other day because I like to do that now. Before I didn't like to go to church. I hated church. I'm somebody who would piss on churches. That's how much I hated them. I'm somebody who, I walked into a church, people immediately knew that I probably shouldn't be there because I was like, my attitude shifts, and I don't really like how people have handled the church. But that's me. So I go into this church, into this state that I'm in now. I'm in the Bible Belt, and you know, I connect with some of the people. It was nice. It wasn't a bad experience. I think the pastor looked like, oh, there's automatic gunfire. It's funny, and some thunder. The pastor looked like somebody who was made in a lab to be a pastor. He was like cookie cutter pastor. He's like, hey, how's it going? You know, he's like, do you have Jesus in your heart? And I was like, yes, I do. And then he's like, well, I know Jesus is gonna help you in your whole circumstances. And I was like, yeah, I hope so. And he's like, I don't hope so. I know so. He's like that guy. He was more performative to me than he had much depth, but he wasn't a bad guy. It was just his energy was off-putting, honestly, to me. But he wasn't a bad guy. I don't mean to be judgmental. It's not my place to judge. I'm just being a discernment of over people. Um, I'm not looking to condemn anyone. It's not my place to do that. I don't think it's anyone's place to do that. But I digress. I met a few people. I met a deacon. We connected pretty well. Went into Sunday school. You know, she's all about demons. Make sure you rebuke the demon. I cast you out. Cease and desist, demon. Cease and desist. Everything's a demon to this girl. I was trying to think, like, yeah, to me, in my belief system, I'm not saying I'm mine is true or not. This is just how I believe. That you have a major role that you play in whatever negativity is coming your way, and I do feel like you have a big part and role to play when you have you know unfortunate circumstances happen in your life. Now, I do believe in demonic forces, but I also believe you have to be in vibrational alignment with these demonic forces in order for them to actually start affecting your life. So I wouldn't rebuke a demon before I rebuked myself, if that makes any sense. So I don't really say any of this to her, but I'm just thinking this in my head. Like, she's all about, you know, a lot of people in the Christian culture are trying to shoo away demons, but really we have to start asking, why are they here? Why, if they are here in our lives, what are we doing that's bringing them and attracting them? Okay. We need to be the auditors of our life. So anyway, I actually go to lunch with this girl and her husband. They're older than I am. They were nice people. I had a good time with them, even though, like, we start trading off our belief systems, and this is the first time we've ever met. They slowly start to realize that, oh, he's not like just fully Christian. He's got a whole mess of beliefs too, because I was like talking about extraterrestrials. And this is the reason I'm making this video right now. I was trying to tell her that on Earth, I feel, and many would probably feel this way too, we're kind of not doing the best job. Like, I talked with her about the Epstein files, right? And how the FBI hasn't done shit about that. And that us as a society to just allow that, to not take action over it, to not hold people accountable as they whitewash the situation, as they basically, our justice system protects predators just like the churches do. We have a lot of these systems that protect these predators. That's ridiculous. It's unacceptable, in my opinion, to allow, to just, brush it off like, oh yeah, it's the government. They suck, and we've always known that they suck, and what are you going to do about it? No, 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 no. This is way, way worse. It's now that people are not, it's not that the truth is hidden from people now, it's that people are hiding from the truth. So I'm trying to talk to these two fine people across from me about how, by not doing anything like that, you're going to allow predatory people to run the country. And what do you think that they're going to do to us one day? The likelihood that they start attacking us, because also we know the truth. And they're probably also, governments want us to be afraid of them, but there's a level that they're afraid of the mob too. So, in my opinion, at some point, I feel like they're going to push for depopulation. They're going to try to replace everybody with AI technology. And they're going to replace everybody with robots. And you're just going to have, instead of all of the jobs that we're all having every day, that we run to every day, to keep our ends meet. Yeah, you're going to be replaced by a fucking robot one day. And not all the jobs are going to, be like that initially. Like, I saw like the HVAC units or stuff like that. Like, there's going to be people like plumbers, probably still have a job. But, a lot of people in the tech industry or finance, even the food industry, or even like service industries, or, even like frickin' the military. You guys are getting replaced. And they don't want you either, because A, they feel like, well, the AI is smarter, and B, we don't want people who know that we're rapists, pedophiles, existing anymore, because honestly, these power structures have been getting rid of witnesses, whistleblowers left and right. And now all the information's out there. They're going to come after you one day. And that one day may be very soon. But I tried to talk to them, these two Christian, the deacon and her husband, who was on the board, about ETs. And how I feel that ETs are going to come into the mix, and they're going to give humanity another option other than genocide and depopulation, and also following the status quo, right? There's going to be contact that comes here one day. I'll guarantee it. Oh, God agrees. Then she started saying something like, she's like, oh, we believe in ETs. And I was like, oh, good. I'm at the right table. Thank God. But she's like, oh, but we don't believe what you believe. We believe that they're all demonic, and that they're all fallen angels and stuff like that. And I was like, oh. And to me, that, I feel, in my opinion, is a psychological operation being perpetuated on the Christian community, where, again, they demonize everything. They demonize everything that isn't Jesus. When in fact, in my opinion, I believe everything is God. Even the demonic forces, in my opinion. But it's almost like, I could demonize every person on the planet if I wanted to. But should I? And are they? I tried to tell them, I tried to show them, like, look at everyone in this restaurant right now. There are good and bad people here. I don't want to distinguish them as good and bad, really. It's more like some people have a proper guidance system in their life that uplifts their life and those around them, and some people are misguided. And the same can be said for those in the universe, too. You're going to have good and bad. And really, what it was that I said to them is that you need a level of discernment over who is perpetrating uh, good intent or ill will. Really, if any ETs come here and they want you to serve them or like submit, those are not good. I'll tell you that right now. The ones that are good are the ones that want to work together um, in a manner that is enlightening, in a manner that where it can be a mentorship, and that your free will is involved. If they're not respecting your free will, the lady said across from me from the table too, the deacon, she's like, yeah, and then the Antichrist is going to come in at some point and fool everybody because they're trying to enact this system where, the beast, the mark of the beast starts to become more prevalent. That's what we have been fearing for a while, that they already chipped our cards, right? Our credit cards and debit cards are chipped. At some point, they're going to get rid of the dollar. They're going to make everything digital. And maybe down the line why I also feel is, and I'll probably get sensitive with some people, why I feel that transgenderism has exploded over the past few years is because they're trying to get people used to the idea of deforming your body and making that a socially acceptable uh, modality, to the point where it's priming the public that, okay, transgenderism is okay, that we've now established that, that we're looking to do that on the status quo is trying to establish the rights over the transgenders. They're soon going to do that for transhumanism, where they're going to make it socially acceptable to implant things in your mind and put them in your mind, like Neuralink stuff, like chipping people's minds, adding technology to your body. Okay? They're, I feel at some point going to try to attempt to do this. And so I feel there are forces around here, like the extraterrestrials too, that know about these plans. And they're going to try to come in here, and they're going to try to teach people ways of enlightenment. And a lot of people are going to have mixed feelings about this. A lot of people have been waiting for extraterrestrials. I first got into this rabbit hole learning about extraterrestrials. The way that I got into this, the way that I started seeing beyond the veil, beyond what the status quo was. So I had a night where I researched a few things, and one of them was JFK, learned about the JFK assassination. Then I popped in the next video, and it was about cancer cures. That's a whole other story about what's going on here. The suppression of cancer cures. And then the third video was the coup de grace, and it was about extraterrestrials. I've known about this probably since 2008, 9. Extraterrestrials exist. Some of them are good. Some of them have misguided intentions, let's put it that way. Some people, some extraterrestrials do try to manipulate the planet. You want to look beyond the manipulators. That's basically it. You have manipulators on this planet. You have people who are trying to manipulate, human beings, manipulating other human beings all left and right. Narcissism's become a buzzword nowadays. You want to look past manipulators. The Antichrist, which will be, I feel, someone steps up and tries to create order out of chaos using incredible means. That is someone to look out for. My point is that we shouldn't demonize everyone, though, because there are benevolent forces out here, and we have to have a level of discernment over who is going to help us in our life and who actually does mean us harm. A lot of people are going to have mixed feelings. A lot of people are going to think, all ETs are demons. And I looked across the table when she said that, and I knew that this woman, this deacon, demonizes more than she should. And she's judging people too. Judging people, entities, and, ETs and other things way too harshly, way too quickly. We're not in a position to judge, but we are in a position of discernment. Because everything exists in the universe for a reason. Those demonic forces that show up, or whatever your belief system is, even if it's a negative person, doesn't have to be a demon, they show up for a reason. They're reflecting something back at us that we have to learn from. And if we just shun them away, I rebuke you, demon, that's all you do, well, you might get away with that for a little bit, but if you don't fix the inherent problem, that sucker's probably just going to come back. So, my message here today, build discernment. Who means us goodwill and who means us ill will. And I will leave it with that. Have a blessed day.